So hello and welcome. Today I wanted to talk about level confusion. And what I mean by level confusion, or how I'm applying that phrase here, is the level between our current adult psychology, consciousness, awareness, who we are today, and the level of where our wounding may have happened. And as you know, we're focusing a lot on early trauma, abuse, difficulties, which are often from childhood. And so the residue, if you like, of those experiences, those difficult experiences that haven't been finished with yet, they haven't been processed yet, are sitting on a different level within our psychology, within our body, mind. It's interesting when you go to the experts on trauma, and really what they say is trauma is really just experience that hasn't been digested fully. Um, you line up 100 people, put them in a similar experience. For some people, it's fine. It was okay. It was manageable. It was something they got through and dealt with, and they're okay. Other people, might get completely jammed up in it. There's a lot of variables around how we react to experiences, genetics, birth order, the strength of the personality, the severity of the experience or the intensity of the experience. Um, and so, yeah, trauma, really, we're just talking about parts of us that are stuck, parts of us that haven't finished with something. And so that sits at the age that it happened, it sits at that level within us. And so even though the past doesn't exist, past is gone, it really doesn't exist, but we can have a part of us that's stuck in the past, if you like. It might be stuck at 5 years of age or 3 years of age or in the womb or when we're 12, at whatever stage. And so when we're doing our inner work, what we find is we're accessing parts of us that are operating on a completely different level. And this is why when we trigger, we regress. When we get activated, we regress. You can have a look at my triggering toolkit that goes into all this in much more detail, of course. But triggering, or in psychology, we'd call this an intrusion of memory or of a trapped emotion. What happens is that's opened up. It's like a can of worms gets opened up, the lid comes off for whatever reason, we get triggered, and we find ourselves regressing back to that level. So if you like, that's an involuntary shift of state. We go back to that level, that part of us at whatever age. So in therapy, when we're coming to our inner work, when we're coming to our healing, we use that capacity to shift levels to our advantage, rather than waiting for it to happen in that out of control, oh, I'm triggered kind of way. We use this principle of being able to drop in and get to these different parts of our body mind in an active, proactive, intentional, therapeutic way. Now, level confusion is when, okay, we've got issues that the root cause of which might be, way back, at an early age, but we're trying to fix it on this level. We're trying to resolve it just on this level. We might find ourselves kind of spinning our tires because we're doing counseling or, psychoeducation. We kind of understand it, that's all necessary. That's all very important, part of the work, but it's not enough. We're on a different level. How could we fix it from up here? The metaphor I like to use for this would be like sitting in a boat on a lake, and the lake is our self, if you like. It's a metaphor for ourself. And, we've got the reflection on the water of the spiritual, superconscious aspects of our being. But beneath the surface of the water, we're getting down into the subconscious, unconscious. And a lot of therapy is about resolving stuff that's lurking around in the depths, stuck down there. So if we're sitting in a boat and we're just talking about it or telling our story or, writing about it, that's all very helpful, for for all of us, there's an initial point where we have to kind of recognize what happened, even be aware that it was a problem, that quiz I've got, the online quiz, do you have childhood trauma? Well, it's for a lot of people that don't even know. And the point of that quiz is just to say, oh, the symptoms you're struggling with could be indicative of having some underlying issues there that need working on. And so, yeah, those initial stages are important, and we talk about it. But if we just stay at that level, it's kind of like fishing. We're chucking a line over and hoping to kind of snag up some information or memory or whatever. And to a degree, we can do it. A lot of modalities, work on kind of free association and things like that. But it's limited, it's hard work, and it's a bit hit and miss, really. So counseling is being more on the surface, or just on this kind of adult level. Psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, what we're doing is we're putting on the wetsuit and the scuba gear, and we're diving out of the boat, and we're actually swimming down. We're moving down in our conscious awareness. We're going into the depths. Now, of course, I always recommend getting individual professional help with this kind of work, at least initially, because, there's a lot lurking down there. And what I'm talking about is very challenging. Most people never do this because it takes courage to do it. And yeah, always seek professional help. What we're talking about here is not for the faint-hearted. It's not easy for anyone. But as we get practice, get some help, see a psychologist, therapist, whoever, to help us with this, get going on that, and we can start to tool up. We can start to skill up and get better at diving down, getting down to the levels where the issues actually are at their root cause. Hypnotherapy is key to this. That's why I talk a lot about that. But what we're doing is taking our awareness, down to the level, down to the places where those issues really lie, where they sit. And so resolving level confusion is just really understanding that, oh, okay, I've got issues that sit on a completely different level in my psyche. To resolve them, I need to get to that level. This is where, these deeper modalities come in. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's helpful. I encourage you to, seek individual professional help. If you haven't opened up these lids before, don't waste time. Find someone you're comfortable with, someone, caring, supportive, and experienced, skilled up in doing this deeper work to help you start to do that. And then we can build on it. Then, some of these other skills and things and videos and things can support you in that, be guided process to help you continue on that deeper inner work, getting to the level of those issues, clearing what's there, which basically frees us up to have a better experience on this level of present day self. That's the whole point of it, a happier, freer, more joyful life. So all the best. Hope you found that helpful, and see you next time.